Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at Tezos, XTZ, and its valuations against Bitcoin, uh, the long, the long slow recovery. Remember, if you do like this video and the other videos that I make on this channel, be sure to hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. So let's jump in. With Tezos, if we discount the last 3 weeks or so, we are out of the buy region we have here. At that time, things were very bullish. Bitcoin was above its 20-week moving average, and with that, only that given that, it would only seem reasonable to expect Tezos to continue to outpace Bitcoin. Because of the recent move from Bitcoin, the environment has changed. The playing field has changed. You can think of it like baseball. Um, there were no runners on the bases. Now there are runners on all three bases, and so the environment changes. And because of that, we would have to adjust accordingly. Now, this video isn't to say to sell your Tezos, or I have sold my Tezos. I don't think it's fairly wise to sell at a loss. Especially if you're just holding it on spot. And because of that, I still hold my position, and I continue to increase my position. It was unfortunate that I was not able to accumulate at the bottom here because, well, my funds, my Bitcoin was tied up elsewhere, and I couldn't do it. So unfortunately, I had to. Um, I wasn't able to capitalize on that opportunity. However, it kind of gives us a kind of structure here where we have consistent higher highs and consistent higher lows for the time being. And if this structure is to hold, it is a slow march upwards outside of this buy region. Now, I don't suspect it to keep this structure forever. I mean, if Bitcoin, for example, comes to the 20-week moving average and then breaks down and creates a lower low, then um, that would probably bring Tezos's valuation down and ultimately break this structure. Nor if Bitcoin gets above the 20-week moving average and say that things are bullish and altcoin season starting up again, um, then again, I would think that Tezos would most likely break this structure. When we look at its history, it doesn't necessarily have these rising channels at the bottom. It kind of just sits there until we see explosive moves up to the sell region that we have up here. So with that said, this isn't a long-term structure. I believe. I think it's just more of an accumulation of this asset. You can consider, I mean, just this here to just be one giant accumulation, right? And you're just consistently buying Tezos at these levels, because it would be the smart. It would be, in my opinion, the smart thing to do. Buy at the region where it's consistently held as support over the weeks and months, and then sell at regions where it comes back up here. And that is my strategy. So currently right now, Tezos is up 21% against Bitcoin for the week. I suspect that will change if Bitcoin decides to drop for the rest of the week. At the moment right now, it's rising, so I'm not necessarily concerned at the moment. And so with that said, we could see this continue to rise. But I would say in the next coming weeks, if Bitcoin does get rejected off the 20-week, I would suspect that Tezos will drop as well. So this is kind of the game plan. If Tezos comes back, because I'm now ready for it. If Tezos comes back to the lower half of the buy region, I am buying. If, on the other hand, Bitcoin breaks above the 20-week moving average and things uh, uh, begin begin to resemble what it was, a month ago, then then I hold my Tezos. I don't buy anymore, and I just ride what I have so far. Again, you should have some kind of rules within your trading strategy where you wouldn't necessarily buy at a certain Bitcoin ratio. And for me, it's anything above this orange line here. Yeah,
it's kind of like a line in the sand. It's a pretty um, conservative, or I don't know how else to put it, kind of a strict ruling, because say like it's hovering over here at like 11,800 sats, and it's just above the orange line, then it doesn't really make a difference if it was above or below. But in my view, that's my strict ruling. And if you give that kind of narrative of like, okay, it's at 12,000, it's still close, I'll buy. Well, where does the line get drawn, right? And so I'm not necessarily wanting to do that. So I keep a strict ruling for myself, but for you, it could be different. But that's kind of like what I'm seeing with Tezos right now. Obviously, the focus is on Bitcoin. Tezos is kind of secondary at this moment, but is one of the two assets that are altcoins in my portfolio that I'm looking to accumulate. But that's pretty much it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.